잘려가는 철학 교수 에이브 루카스.
Kant said human reason is troubled by questions that it cannot dismiss, but also cannot answer.
철학계에서 꽤나 유명한 그가 이곳 브라일린 대학으로 전임 온다는 소식에 학교가 들썩이고 있었죠.
I hear Abe Lucas is going to be joining the faculty this summer.
Really? That should put some Viagra into the philosophy department.
He's this really interesting guy, but he looks totally wasted.
I kind of like the burnout look.
Oh my God, me too.
Well, yeah, and he has affairs with some of his students, I heard.
Really?
Yeah, like, well, yeah.
에이브에 관한 소문은 끝이 없었는데요.
She says he had a serious depression when his wife.
Really? Because actually, what I heard through the rumor mill was he had a breakdown when his best friend was killed. He was a TV crew guy in Iraq and he got beheaded. Isn't that gruesome? It was true.
이상주의자이자 염세주의자인 에이브는 이상과 다른 현실에 지독한 염증을 느끼고 있었죠.
Real, nasty, ugly life that includes greed and hate and genocide. Remember, if you learn nothing else from me, you should learn that much of philosophy is verbal masturbation.
그러던 어느 날 에이브의 눈에 한 학생이 들어오고
Hey, you wanted to see me?
Yes, your paper was quite good. Usually the students are merely paraphrasing what they've read, but I found your thinking fresh and well presented.
심오한 문답들을 주고받으며 질은 독창적인 사상의 소유자 에이브에게 빠져드는데요.
He was so damn fascinating and vulnerable, and I must say, I found him attractive. I guess it helped that he felt comfortable with me.
I drove a cab. I was a handyman in a building. I ran an elevator, but I always read.
에이브와의 대화 이후 질의 머릿속은 온통 그의 생각뿐이었죠.
He was traumatized when his best friend was killed in Iraq. He was a journalist, just horrifying.
Didn't he get his head cut off?
You know, Abe actually says that people just manufacture drama so they can get through their lives because they're so empty.
Can we just change the subject of Abe Lucas, please? You've been like singing his praises for half an hour.
그날 밤 평소 에이브를 흠모하던 동료 교수가 그를 유혹하려 하고
I hope you're not going to send me back out into the rain without sleeping with me.
I'm trying to write.
You're blocked. I'm going to unblock you.
하지만
Have you tried any of the impotence drugs?
It's not physical.
깊은 우울감에 삶의 의지조차 없는 에이브는 정신을 넘어 육체까지 망가져가고 있었죠. 그러다 학생들과 함께한 홈파티에서 러시안 룰렛을 설명하는 학생의 총을 빼앗아 자신의 머리에 겨냥하는 일이 벌어지고
What the hell are you doing, Abe?
The odds were in my favor.
Do you think that's funny?
50-50.
에이브의 이런 연약하고 자기 파괴적인 모습에 질은 모성 본능을 느끼며 더욱 끌리고 맙니다.
Oh, well, we spend a lot of time together, Abe. You know, and I know it's all right. Well, I thought you could tell that I cared about you. I mean, it's pretty obvious to everyone.
Including your boyfriend?
I'm not ready to make an exclusive commitment to him, and I just have a lot of questions.
All right,
and
Jill. Maybe we're spending too much time together. Maybe I should monopolize your time.
이후에도 질은 위태로워 보이는 에이브의 곁을 항상 지켜주었는데요.
I don't know. Are you aware of what's going on at this table?
우연히 듣게 된 뒷테이블의 심각한 이야기에 두 사람은 귀를 기울이고
He wards the kids to Frank. Frank doesn't even look after them.
I deliver them to him. They don't want to go. They're crying. They're crying. What does Frank do? He sticks them in a corner of the garage he works at. And they sit underground all day.
억울한 판결을 받아 양육권을 빼앗기게 된 사연이었죠.
Now he's gonna switch custody to Frank?
On what grounds?
On no grounds. Because he's friendly in some way with Frank's lawyer.
You're sure he's cozy with Frank's lawyer?
Oh, God, they look at each other, they smile. I hope the judge gets cancer.
이야기를 엿들은 에이브는 혼자만의 생각에 빠져들고
If you want him dead, you have to make it happen. But you'd never be able to pull it off, and even if you did, you'd be a prime suspect. On the other hand, I could kill him for you, lady. No one in the world would dream I did it. It was at this moment that my life came together. I could perform this blessing for that poor woman, and no one would ever connect me to it. All I need to know is the name. Judge Thomas Spangler.
사회야 쇼팽글러 판사를 죽일 생각에 묘한 흥분감을 느끼죠.
It was a high-stakes risk, but the risk made me feel alive. The dizziness and anxiety had disappeared, and I accepted completely, in fact, embraced my freedom to choose action. I was too excited to fall asleep. My mind was racing with ideas, plans to kill Judge Spangler. Thanks to a serendipitous encounter with an unknown woman, my life suddenly had a purpose. When I finally did fall asleep, I slept the sleep of the just.
그날 이후 에이브의 삶에는 활력이 넘치는데요.
Full of energy this morning.
Yeah. Yeah, I made a big decision last night.
You did?
To take control of my own life.
I knew you'd love that lighthouse. It's one of my favorite places in the world.
Oh, it's so beautiful here. I can't help thinking of that phrase by Emily Dickinson, inebriate of air, to be drunk on air, not to have to rely on single malt scotch.
이후 잃었던 성기능도 정상으로 돌아옵니다.
What happened to the philosophy professor? Christ, you were like a caveman.
에이브는 본격적인 슈펜글러 판사 제거에 앞서 그의 뒷조사를 시작하죠.
He lived alone on a pretty street within walking distance to the courthouse. Saturday mornings, he jogged at Lippert Park. He was not well thought of as a judge and had been censured once or twice, but had never been reversed on appeal because he was smart and also one of the boys.
기분이 좋아진 에이브는 내친김의 질과 놀이동산에 나섭니다.
I want to go with my first instinct. As my first one, 17.
직감으로 찍은 룰렛의 번호가 당첨되고
Luck rules the universe.
You think so?
Correction, not luck, chance. We're all at the mercy of chance. Okay, all right, what do you want? What prize do you want?
지른 상품으로 작은 플래시를 선택하죠.
Nice practical choice. All right.
Practical?
That's not practical. I mean, look at your other options.
It's
You say
cool.
you picked the flashlight.
I like the
Come
color
on.
and the...
그렇게 데이트를 즐기던 두 사람은
It's a bad idea.
또다시 에이브는 그녀의 마음을 거절합니다. 에이브의 마음속은 온통 판사를 응징할 생각뿐이었는데요.
Careful not to leave any record on my computer, I researched all the poisons, and it was clear why cyanide had become the popular cliché of mystery writers and spies.
기록을 남기지 않고 청산가리를 구해야 했던 에이브는 동료 교수 리타의 가방을 뒤져 화학 실험실 열쇠를 구하죠. 그런데 그때
Professor Lucas, what are you doing here?
I'm doing research for a book I'm working on.
Oh, that's cool. Well, glad to see you're wearing rubber gloves because, you know, a lot of those poisons are actually pretty dangerous.
Yes.
에이브는 슈펜글러 판사의 반복되는 일과를 쫓다 그를 처리할 완벽한 장소를 찾아내는데요.
His weekend run, his morning newspaper, his park bench, his container of fresh squeezed orange juice. The more I found out about him, I was convinced the world would be a better place without him.
청산가리를 탄 오렌지 주스를 바꿔치기 하는 에이브.
I got out of the park and no one saw me. I never saw Spangler drink the juice, and while I tried to stay focused at our weekend faculty meeting, my mind was a million miles away.
이후 그에 대한 소식은 어렵지 않게 알 수 있었고
Lippert Park today was identified as Judge Thomas Spangler, a Rhode Island state judge in domestic court.
이 일로 에이브는 커다란 성취감에 사로잡히죠.
I didn't write a vitriolic, well-reasoned piece about judicial abuse that would wind up just so much verbiage accomplishing nothing. I took direct action and eliminated a cancer.
Yeah, of course I read it. It's just the most amazing thing. I'm stunned.
깊은 마음의 질과 축하 자리를 만든 에이브.
God, I feel great tonight. Just relaxed and happy.
Well, it's supposed to be a celebration, right? Although I think it is a little macabre to suggest celebrating someone's death.
실은 이 사건이 에이브의 짓이란 상상조차 하지 못하고 기분이 좋아질 대로 좋아진 에이브는 질의 마음을 받아줍니다.
What's come over you is that you're finally celebrating life instead of romanticizing death with your crazy Russian roulette.
I feel like I've accomplished something worthwhile. Like my life has meaning.
Well, I'm very flattered that you think making love to me has given your life meaning.
치자와의 연애에 에이브는 약간의 죄책감이 들지만 지금의 행복은 예전엔 미처 느껴보지 못한 것이었죠.
The thought that I had once been indifferent to existence seemed preposterous.
그러던 어느 날
Did you see what happened? Did you see the papers?
No, what?
슈팽글러 판사의 사인이 심장마비가 아닌 타살이라는 사실이 밝혀진 것이었는데
Somebody poisoned his juice.
You gotta be kidding.
I know.
What? Made them do an autopsy.
Don't they always do an autopsy?
Well, I think that they suspected that it wasn't a heart attack right away, and they just.
하지만 몇 주가 지나도 경찰들은 살인 사건의 단서를 찾을 수가 없었죠.
Investigators told reporters all leads have been followed up, but so far there are no persons of interest.
자신이 저지른 완벽 범죄에 만족하며 여유로운 시간을 보내고 있던 어느 날
Today, for one very funny moment, I thought it would be ironic if you had killed Judge Spangler.
Uh-huh. And how did I perform that little miracle?
It's gotta be hard to kill somebody, especially to poison a stranger.
If I had to eliminate someone, I think I don't know, use a gun or run him over. Cyanide's a whole other deal.
Was it cyanide? The papers didn't say that.
I always assume anyone poisoned is poisoned by cyanide.
That's funny. I always assume arsenic for some reason.
에이브는 이 모든 대화를 그저 즐기고 있죠.
It was like sitting at a tense poker table holding a full house and chatting innocently. Confident I had the winning hand, but getting a thrill out of the chance I could be beaten with a straight flush or four of a kind.
그날 저녁 질의 가족들과 식사 자리에서도 슈팽글러 판사의 이야기는 계속되고
You know, when I first heard about it, I thought someone poisoned him at breakfast and it kicked in when he was in the park.
You know, you were right, Abe. It was cyanide. You said that very early on, didn't you?
Who'd want to kill a judge?
Only everybody, every person he ever ruled against.
But I think they looked into everybody that knew him, including that woman that we heard, and they were all.
어느새 이들은 범인의 살인 방법을 추측하기 시작하죠.
He bought an orange juice there every weekend and he'd read the paper after jogging.
Well, then, if it was routine, somebody could have come around and just dropped the poison in his cup.
얼마 후 질은 오랜만에 만난 친구에게서 황당한 이야기를 듣게 되는데요. 에이브와 잠자리를 가졌던 리타 교수가 슈팽글러 사건의 범인이 에이브라고 주장한다는 것이었죠.
I don't even remember. We were at her husband's barbecue and she starts yelling about how Abe had argued that the judge deserved to die and then something about, I don't know, the aesthetics of committing a perfect crime.
리타의 말이 마음에 걸렸던 질은 그녀를 찾아가 직접 묻기로 하는데
My theory is Abe Lucas of our philosophy department.
That's very, very intriguing.
Well, it's crazy, but it's not, you know.
Well, why do you think Abe?
That we had experienced many things in life, but one thing that he had never experienced but wondered was what it would be like to actually kill.
Well, that sounds like random, silly.
Oh, that's exactly what I thought too, you know. It's just Abe being Abe. But then my husband saw him leaving the chemist very early that morning that the judge was poisoned, like very early, like 6:30.
그리고 더욱 결정적인 증거는
A few weeks ago, I lost my lab key. Now, I never lose anything, but that key was missing from my bag, and it opens all the doors to all the lab rooms that have all those dangerous chemicals and poisons.
그녀의 말을 떨쳐보려 하지만 에이브에 대한 의심을 거둘 수가 없던 질은
Rita Richards' husband actually told me that he saw you leaving the campus really early, like 6:30 or something on a Saturday morning.
Oh, yeah, that was the morning Judge Spangler died. Yeah, I had to go to Providence for an MRI.
적당히 둘러대는 에이브.
A little benign thing, but the doctor wanted me to check it out. He didn't think it was anything horrible.
I'm glad it was nothing.
그러던 어느 날
How's your paper coming?
Good, actually. Thanks to Abe Lucas. I ran into him in the chem lab.
에이브가 화학실에 있었으며 유독물질한 키를 갖고 있었다는 사실을 알게 되죠.
Hey, why are you acting so strangely? What's so important? We gotta go.
You killed Spangler.
일단 잡아떼보지만 확실한 정황 근거에 사실을 고백하는 에이브.
This was the meaningful act I was searching for.
You can't just take it upon yourself to take someone's life.
I consider myself a moral man who's lived a moral life, who came to the aid of a woman suffering a great injustice.
하지만 살인까지 이해할 수 없었던 질은 이별을 통보합니다.
I have to leave, Abe. You gotta go. I can't see you ever again. I won't say anything.
에이브는 이곳에서 마지막 몇 주를 보내고 유럽으로 넘어갈 계획을 세우지만
Police are certain they have the person who poisoned Judge Thomas Spangler, a family court judge who was murdered in Lippet Park. Podesta, who denies he had anything to do with it, had testified before Spangler 2 years ago and had been enraged with the judge for his ruling in a case against his brother.
무고한 이가 범인으로 몰리자 질은 에이브를 찾아가 자수를 권하는데
An innocent man is about to have his life ruined.
Okay, I'll give myself up. Is that what you want?
Isn't that what you want?
평소 내뱉어 오던 말과 달리 비겁한 행동을 보이는 에이브.
Okay, if they don't see that they're making a mistake and let them go in a few days, then I'll turn myself in.
하지만 에이브에게 자수할 마음 따윈 없었는데요. 이제서야 알게 된 삶의 기쁨을 포기할 수 없었죠.
The morality of letting someone take the rap troubled me greatly, but paled against the hard wiring of my natural will to survive.
하지만 문제는 질이었죠.
Her death would have to look like an accident, and I ran through all the ones she might have and it hit me. My brief time running an elevator during my college days might now pay off. Saturday was her piano lesson. Most of the offices were closed. There was very little action in the building.
What are you doing here?
Hi.
Hi.
I wanted to talk to you before I go to the police.
마침내 질을 만난 에이브는 그녀를 안심시킨 뒤 그때 놀이동산에서 받은 플래시를 받고 허무하게 죽어버린 에이브.
With the passage of time, the awful vividness of what I had experienced gradually, very gradually, grew less and less traumatic. The whole thing had been quite a lesson, a painful lesson, the kind Abe used to say you can't get from any textbook.